Does the New York Fed Bank have the responsibility, authority to step in and be the involved government party? Or is it the Board of Governors? Or is it the SEC? Or is it lots of people, and leading to the conclusion everybody has a role but no one's in charge? So, Mr. Eichner.
Thank you, Senator Reed. Let me begin by emphasizing I'm here today speaking for the Federal Reserve Board, but obviously the Federal Reserve Bank of New York and the Federal Reserve Board have worked closely and collaboratively on this tri-party issue. I think in the wake of the most acute phase of the crisis, I think there was a broad agreement that some steps needed to be taken and that the risks that had become evident during the crisis needed to be addressed. I think we also at that time were not entirely clear as to what exactly the right way would be to address those vulnerabilities. One thing that was clear was that the tri-party market is unusually large and unusually complex. It does not just have broker-dealers, cash lenders, clearing banks, but all of the above, involved fundamentally in a daily settlement process that is fairly complicated and has to be accomplished in a reasonably tight time frame. What we did was we started out hoping that we could find an industry solution. And as you suggested, that involved bringing people together in 2009. As all of us in various ways, I think, have reflected in our testimony, substantial progress was made through that process. People have mentioned some of the specifics, but everybody also has fundamentally recognized what I would like to emphasize today, which is that we did not get to the end of that road. This task force process did not get to the end of the road. Despite the fact, for example, that the daily unwind now occurs later in the day than it did several years ago, essentially all of the $1.8 trillion tri-party market is still unwound every day. What we want to emphasize, I think, is that we began with an industry process. We thought that the industry was best positioned to think about what the right solution would be, but that we were absolutely committed to progress being achieved here. And to that point, when it became clear in the middle part of 2011 that the tri-party task force was not going to meet its public commitment from 2010, despite significant progress having been made, to practically eliminate intraday credit by the end of 2011, the Federal Reserve increased our involvement in the process and in particular brought supervisory tools to bear in a very direct way. The details of that are described, for example, in our July 18th press